Hey, Liam, what's with all these boxes?
What do you mean, what's this? These are my parents' things. We're going to live together in this house.
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
Mom and Dad are getting old, and I think it's time for them to move in with us.
Why are you making this decision on your own? We don't even have a spare room for them to begin with.
Then why don't you ask your mother to move out?
I beg your pardon? What the hell are you saying? My name is Harley. I am a 32-year-old office worker. I met my husband Liam through work and we got married after a year of dating. We are currently in our third year of marriage, but we have no children yet. We live at my parents' house with my mother. We started living together when my father passed away a year ago. I am very grateful that my husband agreed to live with my mother. However, there are still some things about my husband that I cannot help but be disappointed about. First of all, my husband does not do any housework, even though we both work. Rather, he is too lazy, so he puts a lot of burden on me and my mother for house chores. Hey, how many times do I have to tell you not to leave your clothes out like this?
Well, as long as the person who notices puts them in the laundry basket, it doesn't really matter.
Then, put them in the basket when you take them off.
Why do I have to do that every time?
Well, we all live together, so it's important to be considerate, right?
Isn't family the one thing you don't have to really be considerate about?
You're not getting my point at all. My husband is always like this, taking it the wrong way and quibbling over it. He tries to force his way out of an argument in order to push his way through. He is just like one of those debaters from the TV. If only Liam made as much money as those debaters from the TV, then I wouldn't complain much, maybe. And my husband, as you can guess, doesn't even cook. My husband is always home earlier than me, and he always comes home on time. When I come home, he is in a bad mood and says,
I'm hungry. What's for dinner?
Hey, can't you help me cook a little? I'm busy with work too, and sometimes I come home late.
No, I can't. Because I can't cook.
Well, even if you can't at first, maybe you can try to help me cook.
No. It'll only delay the whole dinner to get ready, you know.
My husband never does house chores under any circumstances. Well, it is true that it is faster if I do it by myself, but I at least want him to show me an attitude of cooperation. Even if he can't handle a knife, it would be a great help if he would just tear vegetables or wash dishes and utensils that were used during the cooking. But my husband only complains and is always lying on the sofa, either watching TV, reading books, or playing with his phone. But I still had affection for him because I had married him after falling in love with him, and I was grateful that he agreed to live with my mother when we had only been married for a year. 3 years passed in the blink of an eye as I kept repeating the cycle of how I'm disappointed in my husband, but also kept on thinking, but. And after 3 years, circumstances and environments change. My mother has been getting sick more and more often lately. So I drive my mother to the hospital every Saturday. Liam, about taking Mom to the hospital tomorrow?
Oh, I can't make it.
Excuse me? I haven't said anything yet.
You want me to drive you there, right? I don't want to do that.
No, I just wanted to say I'll be gone during the day and I just wanted you to take care of the house.
Oh, you were asking that, huh? But I can't do that either.
What? Why not? Were you planning to go out or something?
I can't because I'm reading my favorite book. I have to reread this chapter actually.
Well, you can do that after you do your chores.
No way, no way. Do you know how much I have to read? I have to read and see if there is anything I missed, or else there's no point in getting that book.
I may have been naive about my husband. My husband has allowed me to live with my mother, but I feel like he only appreciates living with me. And then something terrible happened. It happened one morning. As I was making breakfast, my mother came in looking sick. What? What's wrong, Mom? You're sweating like crazy. Are you perhaps not feeling well? No, it's just a little hot. Huh? You didn't turn on the air conditioner? It's over 86 degrees today, remember? Yeah, I didn't turn it on. Why not? Mom, your room is poorly ventilated and it's really difficult without the air conditioner. Well, that's... I then heard a shocking fact from my mother. Liam asked me not to use the air conditioner so that he could save on utility bills. Excuse me? Liam said that? I got mad and immediately went to my husband's room. Hey, Liam, what is the meaning of this? My husband looked annoyed as I angrily opened the door with an angry face.
Why are you coming at me so early in the morning?
Is it true that you told my mom not to turn on the air conditioner? As I said that, my husband nodded with a look that said, What's wrong about that?
Well, we're the ones paying for the utilities, so it's only right that you warn your mom not to use it too much, right? And your mom is the one who spends her time in the room during the day.
But what if Mom gets sick?
What are you talking about? She won't get sick just because she's not using the air conditioner.
Even heat stroke can be fatal for the elderly. I mean, what's the matter with you for telling my mom not to turn on the air conditioner? The air conditioner is on in this room right now.
It should be fine for me. I'm paying for it. What, do you care more about me or your mother?
What?
You always talk about my mom this, my mom that, but aren't you neglecting me too much? Don't you think so?
What the hell are you talking about? I was stunned and disappointed. I can't believe my husband would say such childish things. I didn't think he was such a wuss who would ask me to choose him or my mom. Anyway, I'll let my mom use the air conditioner or the fan freely.
What? Why's that? Isn't that unfair?
What's unfair about it? Even my mom pays for the living expenses from her pension, you know. You can at least let her use the air conditioner freely. When I said this, my husband became silent, looking unconvinced. Since then, my husband and I have been in a bad mood. Then something happened that surprised me even more. That day, I was working as usual. Then I suddenly received a phone call from my mom. It is not often that my mom calls me while I am at work. Was something wrong? I told her that my husband would be home today since he's on paid leave, and if my mother looked sick, he should take her to the hospital right away. I immediately picked up the phone. What's wrong, Mom? Actually, something terrible is happening. Harley, please help me. Huh? Please calm down a bit. What happened? Suddenly, a lot of packages had arrived and Liam had brought his parents over. Huh? What the hell? I talked to my boss about it and I was immediately sent home. And since I didn't want to miss a second, I got in a cab and headed home. Then I saw a mover's truck parked in front of my house. What on earth was going on? When I entered the house, tons of cardboard boxes were placed in the living room, in front of which my in-laws were flapping their hands to cool them down from the heat. Phew! It's hot indeed.
Is there an air conditioner in this room? Yes, there is. feel free to use it.
I went over to my husband first. Hey, Liam, what's this?
What? You don't have work today?
My mom called and my boss let me leave early. What's with all these boxes?
What do you mean, what's this? These are my parents' things. We're going to live together in this house.
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
Mom and Dad are getting old, and I think it's time for them to move in with us.
Why are you making this decision on your own? We don't even have a spare room for them to begin with.
Then why don't you ask your mother to move out?
I beg your pardon? What the hell are you saying?
Because your mom is quite old, isn't she? If that's the case, wouldn't she be better off at a nursing home than at this house?
I couldn't believe it. Has he always been like this? Did he change his personality along the way? I thought he was a more decent and gentle person when we were dating or when we just got married. It's been one betrayal after another. No way. I can't believe you would say that.
Oh, God. You're such a pain in the ass. Can't your mom just get the hint? It's annoying to have you stay there any longer.
No way! My in-laws think it's their house already, so they don't even enter into our conversation and they just take the liberty of getting a drink out of the fridge and start relaxing. That's enough. I don't approve of your parents living with us.
No, my parents are my priority. Your mom is the one who needs to leave.
Liam!
Oh, Harley, that's enough.
No, but...
Liam, you have been so annoyed with me for some time. And yet, thank you for living with me for these 2 years. Well, it was really tough. I had to put up with it because I didn't have to pay rent.
Liam!
Harley, it's okay. Liam, you don't have to live with us anymore. Oh, well, that was quick. But then please, leave as soon as possible.
No, you are the one who's going to leave.
Excuse me?
You and Harley should discuss what to do from now on. As a mother, I want Harley to get a divorce as soon as possible.
What are you talking about? This house belongs to us as a couple, so it's you who should leave, right?
What? What the hell are you saying?
You've been talking to me like I'm an idiot all this time.
Well, duh. This is my mom's house, you know.
What? Oh, it's not your house, Harley?
It's my mom's house. And even if it was my house, it wouldn't be your house.
Huh? Because it would be joint property of the couple.
Why don't you go back to studying again? You have no right to decide who lives in this house.
Oh no.
My husband was in shock. My in-laws had been told, "Don't worry, I'm in charge of this house," by my husband, and they seemed to trust him completely. Well, I guess I'll have to ask you and your parents to leave. And make sure to send these boxes back. With your money, of course, Liam. If you and your parents try to stay, I will call the police. My mother said quietly and calmly, and my husband was frightened, saying,
Oh no.
"Of course, I'm divorcing you."
Divorce? Well, wait a minute.
No, it's already been decided. Do you have any idea how much you have disappointed me? How can I stay married to someone who treated my mom like that? You too. You better pack your bags and get the hell out. My husband yelled at me and started to pack up his belongings as if he was scared. My parents-in-law must have been quite scared of me and my mother because they quickly left the house, got into their car, and drove away. My mom was shocked about what had happened, so she slumped down on the spot. "Mom, are you okay?" That was so scary. Mom, take it easy, okay?
I'm sorry.
But you were so cool, you know.
Thank you. I'm sorry for bothering you, Harley.
No, I'm the one who caused you trouble, actually. I'm so shocked that I don't have an eye for good men.
Well, can't really deny that part.
Hey, Mom, you should at least support me. I then strongly told my husband that I would throw all the boxes outside if he didn't come and get it, and made him come and get it. At that time, my husband said,
We already sold my parents' house, and it's going to be gone at the end of this month. Please, help me.
But I ignored him and gave him the divorce papers so that he could sign them.
So, you're really divorcing me?
Of course. If you don't accept it, I'll fight you in court. My husband is a coward, so he gets really scared of the words like court and police, which is why he immediately signed the divorce papers. Thus, our divorce was successfully finalized. My ex-husband rented an apartment quickly and asked a contractor to move his parents' belongings there. However, a large amount of boxes arrived in such a small apartment, and now they are living in a very cramped space. Moreover, because the in-laws' house was too old, it could not be sold for much money, and the in-laws have very little money. Therefore, they have to make ends meet for 3 adults on my husband's salary, and they are having a very difficult time. Along with those explanations, there were emails from my ex-husband asking me to get back together with him. But I ignored them all and blocked him. And just to be safe, I issued a restraining order to the ex-parents-in-law's family, because this way, if they suddenly assaulted me again, the police would rush to the scene immediately. After that, my mother and I are still living together as usual. We can spend our time comfortably with the air conditioner on as much as we want. And there are no more person like my husband making more mess than necessary, so it's really peaceful. I don't want to be in love for a while, so I'm going to focus on my work while spending more time with my mom. Thank you for watching until the end. If you like, please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.
I'm Heather, a 42-year-old part-time housewife. My husband Trevor and I had an arranged marriage. At our matchmaking meeting, he modestly mentioned that his hobby was saving money. Even before we got married, he wasn't into flashy activities and would use coupons when we went out to eat on dates. I thought maybe he's got a good personality for diligently saving money. He was reliable and gentle, and I agreed to his marriage proposal. I'm a plain person myself, and I don't have any particular hobbies. My idea of a hobby was growing carrots and green onions in plastic bottles to save money. We lived in a cheap apartment and had a happy life with our only child, Kendra. 10 years have passed, and our daughter is now in the 4th grade. Recently, I've noticed that my husband is more focused on making money or trying for a get-rich-quick scheme than saving money. Right after we got married, I asked him if he would gamble on horse racing or other sorts. He firmly said, "I don't do that kind of hobby." But then I came home to find him holding a brown wooden object with a big grin on his face. "What is that?" I asked, and he replied, "I bought it from a street vendor near the station." That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking what it is. Turns out it was a bear statue. It's one of those Ainu traditional wood carvings that used to be at the entrance of every house in the previous generation. The one with the bear holding a salmon swimming upstream. The strange thing about this bear was its pose. Normally, the bear would be facing sideways with its face turned to the left, holding the salmon in its mouth. But this one was facing forward, holding the salmon proudly. It's a bear. I know that. But why a bear? And why buy it from a street vendor? And that's not even the right one. He explained. It's supposed to be good luck. He said the salmon symbolizes fortune. And the fact that it's facing forward is really rare. It's supposed to bring good luck directly to us. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That sounded like a complete stretch. And it looked like it hadn't been sold for a while, covered in dust. How much did you pay for it? You won't believe it, he said, grinning from ear to ear. It was originally $200, but the seller let me have it for $100. He said he could see some deep connection between us. $100 for a bear? I was speechless. What a deal, right? It'll bring in good fortune for just $100. We'll be rich. He excitedly placed the bear in the most prominent spot in our entryway. As for whether the bear brought us any luck, whenever someone visited, we'd have a brief moment of excitement with comments like, "Oh, I remember one of these bears. These used to be in every house." Or, "How unusual! I've never seen one facing forward before." Other than that, my husband was thrilled when he got an extra slice of pork at the company cafeteria one day. Tired of the silliness, I told him, "Stop spending money on unrealistic things like attracting luck." But he misunderstood my advice, which led to an even more surprising event that happened during the summer bonus season. About the bonus, my husband brought up during dinner. "Yeah, thanks for your hard work. Our vacuum cleaner has been acting up, so I want to replace it. And we need a new air conditioner too. I was also thinking about moving to a new apartment and saving the rest of the money. I used it all to buy lottery tickets." My husband revealed a thick stack of paper. "What? No way! That's ridiculous! Is this a bad joke?" I didn't want to believe that the stack of paper was all lottery tickets, so I blinked a couple times and looked again at what my husband was holding. But there was no doubt that it was lottery tickets. I was dumbfounded by the thickness of the stack. "You told me to stop relying on luck after the bear incident. So instead, I invested in something with a basis." "What basis?" "Listen, this new lottery has 10 million tickets per unit. This year, 26 units were sold. Since the winning amount is set per unit, there are 26 first place prizes. So, if you only buy one ticket every year, your chances of winning first place are 1 in 10 million. But I bought 1,500 tickets this time, so my chances are now 1 in 666,666. Isn't that amazing?" What? You're not gonna win! Do you realize you're saying that there's a 666,665 in 666,666 chance you'll lose? But my chances definitely increased, right? You can't rely on something without a basis, like superstition. There's only luck in horse races and casinos, but there's always probability in the lottery. As for the result, it wasn't a complete loss, but we did win something. $900. We invested $4,500 and got back $900. This is ridiculous. Oh, stop it! Stop relying on luck or slim chances. You've learned that nothing good comes from relying on such things, right? Saving money is the only way. I lectured my husband for 2 hours. However, my husband misunderstood the meaning of saving money. One day, I suddenly found out about it. My daughter brought home a letter from school asking for the payment of the school lunch fee. That's strange. The lunch fee should be deducted from our savings account. We have been saving up for a down payment on a house, so there should be a balance of $10,000. I have been saving my part-time wages since I was single, and we have been putting the money left over from my husband's salary after living expenses into that account. It's strange that even the lunch fee couldn't be withdrawn. I went to the bank immediately. When I checked, there was a withdrawal from a company I'd never seen before, and the balance was $0. I couldn't help but shout in front of the ATM. When I got home, I looked up the company name on the internet. It was a securities company. What does this mean? Since I didn't know about it, it could only be my husband. During dinner, I took out the ATM receipt with trembling hands and asked, "Do you want to explain to me what this is all about?" Then he started to tell me something unbelievable. "It's okay. I can still get it back." What? I don't understand what you're talking about. He took a book out of his commuter bag. The cover says, "Learn Forex in a week." That's what it's all about. My husband says, "What do you mean?" He replies, "When I bought the bear statue, I was told not to rely on luck. I agreed. When it came to the lottery, I was told not to rely on something without a basis. I agreed. So, I thought if there's a basis, I could definitely increase our money. This is the basis? I studied by reading books and also used a Forex simulation app for a week." Huh? You're saying you lost $100,000 just by reading books for a week? Forex apps aren't even using real money, and they're usually designed for solicitation, so you're likely to win. You get that, right? Well, actually, I won at first. I invested $1,000 and it turned into $1,100. You should have stopped there. But that's not the case. I couldn't help but be dumbfounded. So you're saying that if you had invested $10,000, it would have become $11,000? No, that's not what I mean. Listen to me. I didn't invest with such a naive mindset. My husband says with a solemn expression, "I made a profit of $100 when $1,000 turned into $1,100. If I had put in $100,000 then, it would have become $110,000. I could have made $10,000, but in reality, I only made $100. I felt like I lost $9,900. I didn't steer towards an optimistic mindset that only thinks about profits. I shifted to a cautious direction to minimize losses." Seriously? What is this bonehead talking about? Who would use and lose $100K just by studying for a week? I don't even know what's going on anymore. The conclusion is the same. I yelled at him. But then he says, Wait, don't get so worked up. Look at this. This is the ad that got me started." He showed me the screen of his smartphone. I could see a title saying, "It's easy to increase your money with the smartphone app." It's the same vibe as the "It's easy to lose weight with this workout app" that appears on my smartphone. The ad goes like this. The girl in the ad says, "I won with Forex, so I'll treat you to lunch. This is the secret. Increase your income by trading Forex during lunch while working." This is like saying, "I aced the test while training hard to make varsity football." Jesus, are you a high school student? To be deceived by this, read a fishy book for a week, use a little app, and then lose 100K of our household money just because you had a small win is unbelievable. I slumped down onto a chair. No, it's okay. I still have $50 in my wallet. You're hopeless if you think you can get back $100,000 with that $50. There's nothing left to say to my unrepentant husband. It's over. That stupid bear statue was still sort of acceptable, but ever since he spent his entire bonus on those lottery tickets, those words have been on my mind. Let's get a divorce. His eyes widened. Of course, I didn't want to say such a thing. But we have a daughter, and with this much money already spent, there's no choice but to make that decision. However, to my surprise, my husband suddenly started yelling. Huh? I still have $50, so I can figure something out. He was unexpectedly getting angry. I was taken aback by this, but I replied with a sigh. No, it's okay. You don't need to do anything anymore. It's just impossible to stay together with you after you've lost 100K. Wait a minute. What do you mean? Do you care more about money than me? He began to get angry in a strange way. Why are we even talking about this? I was amazed by the turn this conversation took. Then he threw even more shocking words at me. You money grubber! Huh? Money grubber? I could feel my emotions cooling down rapidly. That's right! You just realized that now? I was surprised at how cold my own words sounded. Huh? He seemed taken aback. Little by little, my resentment towards him began to spill from my mouth. Money grubber? What's so wrong with that? Who are you to act so important when you've squandered everything? My feelings towards my husband were now in a deep freeze. An awkward atmosphere flowed between us. But even the Beatles say all you need is love, and Ariana Grande says love is everything. What's that got to do with anything? Your argument is all over the place. Hearing this man who lost $100,000 talk about love felt so hollow. Ridiculous. At the same time, I started to feel that maybe he should experience the same thing, or even get a taste of his own medicine. So, you're saying love is more important than money? I returned his words with a counterattack. Yeah, that's right. Fine. Remember those words, you jerk. I will never forgive the crime of losing $100,000 and the stupidity of his actions. I lit a fire in my frozen heart. We had our living expenses separate, so we were okay for the time being. My revenge began from here. 3 months later, as the year grew colder towards its end, my husband came home and immediately opened his mouth wide in surprise. What the hell is this? What do you mean? It's a tiger statue. Why a tiger? In the living room, there was a life-size 10-foot-long tiger statue. It was extremely realistic, even with its rough fur. Our daughter was riding on the huge statue that took up half of the living room, playing happily. I got it cheap on TV shopping, I smiled. They were getting rid of their rabbit figurines and statues for next year's zodiac sign, so they were clearing their inventory. Huh? He exclaimed. The year of the tiger is soon over. Well, that's to be expected. His question was too predictable. But it was cheap. And you know, tigers are said to bring good luck by capturing fortune. Rabbits don't have that kind of symbolism. Huh? It was originally $1,000, but it went down to $500 in the year-end inventory sale. It would be nice to capture some fortune. My husband stared in disbelief and dropped his briefcase. Take that, you jerk! This is a payback of the bear. But I didn't stop my counterattack there. I got a bonus. My husband hesitantly brought up the topic during dinner. Yes, you did. On December 10th, my husband received his winter bonus. Since the tiger incident, when I started squandering money, he seemed to be terrified of this day. Please don't spend it on things like lottery tickets, he said preemptively. Look who's talking. I didn't buy any lottery tickets, but... I grinned. I used the entire bonus to buy New Year's cards with lottery prizes attached. My husband's mouth hung open. Huh? Well, those cards aren't just for sending New Year's greetings. If you hold on to them, you can win luxurious prizes when the winning numbers are announced. I bought so many, I'm looking forward to the lottery results. You spent your summer bonus freely, so I used the winter one. He turned pale. He realized that I intended to pay him back in full. The fear was evident on his face. When the winning numbers for the New Year's cards with lottery prizes were announced, we won a few gift packages. We got fruits and meat. In other words, we had poured the entire bonus into it, and all we got back was fruits and meat. I served steak to my husband, saying, "Enjoy the bonus-flavored steak." But checking all those New Year's card numbers was hard work, especially with my bad eyes. I asked Kendra to help, but it still took us nearly 4 hours. Despite the fact that I shared an amusing episode of hard work, my husband ate his steak with a tearful expression. Then, a month later, as I sipped soup at dinner, I said, "You know, we had living expenses, right? I used that to buy some books." My husband choked on his soup. You could see that he thought I had finally started tapping into our last resort, the living expenses to buy those books. Considering my previous acts of revenge, it's not hard to imagine. His face grew even paler. I couldn't care less about his mood. I pressed on. I saw an advertisement on my smartphone and thought, why not? At this point, my husband began to tear up. "Please, stop," he said with a trembling voice. I never thought you'd go this far with your revenge. If you take our living expenses, we won't be able to survive. Let's end this. I agreed to the divorce." His voice was shaking, as was his body. I never thought losing money in an instant would be so terrifying. Well, it's nowhere near the $100,000 that you squandered. I know that. I'm really, truly sorry, and I never thought it would be this scary. But it's already too late. I will never forgive him for calling me a money grubber, and human nature doesn't change. No matter how much he cries or apologizes, nothing will change now. You understand now, right? The Beatles and Ariana Grande are saying all you need is love and love is everything, but that's only when they already have enough money. Yes. All right. Since you squandered $100,000, I'll take 4/5 of the remaining living expenses, and you'll pay for the child support. Yes. He signed the divorce papers. With this, everything was over for me. I put the papers in my bag. I'll take them to the city hall tomorrow. About the books I bought, I decided to tell him the conclusion of the matter. I spread out several books in front of my husband. The titles were IT Passport and Fundamental Information Technology Engineer. I got these 2 qualifications. Books can be used for things like this, you know? I then showed my ex-husband the screen that came up when I tapped my smartphone. I saw an ad for this online computer school, and it said it was a national qualification, so I thought this was the only way to get my income back. I attended online computer school classes to get these 2 qualifications. He bought 1 book on foreign exchange trading, but I bought 2 copies each of IT Passport and Fundamental Information Processing, so I had a total of 4 books. I continued. Actually, I planned to spend more living expenses to attend a computer school. But when I said, my husband squandered $100K and I have to divorce him, but I can't rebuild my life without a full-time job history, I was accepted into a vocational school with a corporate internship program. During vocational training, I managed to obtain the Applied Information Processing Technician qualification, and so I will become a system engineer no matter what. My husband was looking down. I continued. I told you, didn't I? With a solid foundation, you can definitely increase your income. And by foundation, I mean obtaining qualifications like this. You can't easily make money with half-baked knowledge. Even if you called me a money grubber, I was determined to divorce you. I knew that you would look down on me when that happened, saying, "What can a part-time housewife do after a divorce? You can't survive." I couldn't stand being told that. So, as a money grubber, I thought hard about a surefire way to make money. That's why I've been working single-mindedly for the past 6 months to get my hands on a method that will definitely make me money. Right? It's money over love, isn't it? Yes, it is money over love, he said, suddenly standing up and then sitting down. Please, support me. My angry shout echoed throughout the room. Hell no, you money grubber! And so I attended vocational school. At the self-introduction session at the vocational school, I announced, I'm divorced, and then declared, I have no way out but to do this. This is what it means to have one's resolve set. Maybe because of that, I made friends who encouraged each other to pass the exams. I attended the vocational school happily. There, I obtained the Applied Information Processing Technician qualification as well. I got a job at the company where I went for the corporate internship training. My annual salary exceeded that of my ex-husband. By the way, although handling fees are deducted from New Year's gift lottery postcards, they will refund the money if they are not used. I lost some money, but I managed to get it back that way. I thought it would be too cheap to take the tiger statue, so I left him at my ex-husband's house. Since child support is deducted from his salary, he has to live on a tight budget. He had no choice but to move into a studio apartment with a shared bath and toilet, along with the tiger. When my daughter went to check on him, the tiger was filling up his studio, and there seemed to be a bear at the entrance. Although he has to sleep in a strange position because he's blocked by the tiger, he said something like, I became attached to the tiger. I think it might have been the last present for him. If you want money, half-baked wisdom won't do. You need to obtain thorough wisdom. I wrote the exam date for the database specialist exam, which is a higher qualification than the applied information technology engineer, in my schedule.